Now, as many of you may have seen, you can reach 1,000 yards for less than $1,000. We showed it with the Diamondback Tactical 3-9x40 and Ryan Muckenhern there. Now, with the release of this new Diamondback Tactical first focal plane, we figured how could we one-up that? We couldn't just go and do the same thing. So instead, we came out here to Wyoming, the Wagon Hound Ranch, the Vortex Extreme. We're really gonna be putting these things to the test. Much more features, 30mm tubes, side adjustable parallax. We got first focal plane EBR 2C reticles. Eric and myself here are running two 4-16s. We're gonna see how they do in a full-on competition. Let's do this thing.
Yep. Oh, and then far left. Yep.
Then in the middle, you've got 5.
Impact. All right.
All right, now we're coming back from stage 5. We have 5 more stages to go. Now, neither Eric nor myself are super experienced Western hunters or precision long range guys, but we know enough to be dangerous out here, and these Diamondback Tacticals are certainly more accurate than we are. Now, that's kind of perfect for this scope though, because realistically speaking, this scope with its price point comes in at a point that somebody who is a beginner long range shooter could get into it and have plenty of features to shoot a match like this, which we've been doing pretty well. Now, we shot out to 1200, we weren't able to connect there, but 3 to 950 thus far, the rest of the range we've been shooting at, we've had plenty of impacts. And then when we haven't, the optical quality in this thing, and then the ability to use the first focal plane reticle on any magnification, we've been able to see and spot each other's targets and give accurate corrections to each other on any magnification. And honestly, a lot of times people think you gotta go highest magnification in these situations, but seeing all this thick sagebrush, it's tough to find the targets even. I mean, you're talking a 10-inch steel plate, maybe sometimes at 900, again 1,200 yards, and so being able to back down the magnification, we're on the clock, we only have 5 minutes to shoot all of our targets, and so backing down the magnification, spotting Eric's shot, giving him an accurate correction if he does miss, and then being able to just keep going, that's super valuable. A lot of times in here, we've been running our time down to just about 10 seconds, so any little bit of time that we can save is huge. So we're gonna go do 5 more stages, plenty more long range stuff, high angle, crazy stuff at the extreme here. Let's do 5 more.
That was the best trigger break I think I've had yet.
Yep, I got it.
All right, we made it back in one piece from the Vortex Extreme. Eric, what'd you think? How'd it go?
It was a blast. First time shooting long range, being out in that country and that kind of scenery, it was an absolutely awesome place to shoot. Had a lot of fun.
Yeah, and neither of us are really long range competitors. We don't do this all the time. We don't even make it out west like we did to Wyoming all the time. So kind of good examples of somebody who might be getting into an optic like this. It's a great scope for a first time long range competitor. Potentially a training rifle too, certainly. You can get it in mils and MOA. It's got the EBR 2C reticle to match whatever other rifle scope you might have that is a long range competition rifle scope. And what do you think about using first focal plane? Because you're used to second focal plane quite a bit.
Yeah, that was my first time, in fact, ever using a first focal plane rifle scope. And I think my biggest takeaway from it was just being able to speak the same language in terms of our reticle, regardless about what magnification power we're on. That really helped us out. when providing corrections, holdovers, anything like that. So that was my biggest takeaway for sure.
Yeah, a lot of sagebrush out there. Most of our spotting was done really around 10 power or even under sometimes, because all you got to do is be able to, you really want to be able to see the target and be able to call out, you know, based on a dust splash that you see if we did miss, which certainly, admittedly, we did a fair amount, but we made quite a lot of impacts too.
Absolutely.
You know, when you would actually start shooting, you might dial in a little bit, but we were able to make corrections using that reticle on pretty much on any magnification. So we also dialed quite a bit.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we were throwing these things in and out of packs, hiking up and down some really steep grades. So, and even though they don't have a zero stop, we had no problem with that.
Right, yeah. I mean, a lot of people might notice, hey, it doesn't have a zero stop, right, but it's less than $400. And so that just meant we had to dial up all the way throughout the stage from near to far on our targets. There are 4 targets each time that could go out to, you know, about 1,200 yards. And then we'd have to dial all the way back down because we want to make sure we didn't forget. And, you know, so basically these things got dialed up and down all day and they performed great. I'd say realistically speaking, we have a lot more work to do to get as accurate as these scopes were for us, you know, and they did excellently. So all in all, really, again, a great scope for somebody just getting started out in this. Our rigs right here, as you see them, pretty much for everything from bipod to cheek rest and everything in between was about $1,000. Relatively inexpensive. I took off the suppressor this time, guys, so you know, for the folks out there who are commenting on the second focal plane Diamondback Tactical at 1,000 yards video, that's why you see the exposed thread protector there, or threads there. So very capable setup. You can certainly do it. Long range, competition capable rifle scope. It made it through a Vortex Extreme. We expect to see plenty more of these out at future Vortex Extremes. So hopefully we see more of you at the Vortex Extremes in the future too. And if you have any other questions, definitely hit us up in the comments on any other social platform or phone call, whatever it might be. We'd love to hear from you guys.